What is going on, everybody around the world? This is Sonic Mix, and today I am here to give my review for SmackDown, September 13th, 2016. And I gotta say, this was a very up and down like show. There was some ups, there were some downs, which I'm going to explain the ups and the downs, obviously. So without further ado, let us begin. The night kicked off with the brand new WWE Champion AJ Styles. Cut a pretty good promo as always. And then after a while came the returning John Cena, who basically said that he wanted that back. So AJ thought he meant the band that said never give up. So he takes the band off, throw it at Cena's face, and Cena said, no, I want that because the 16-time champion is here. Why does Cena get a chance when he lost at SummerSlam and has been off TV for like a couple weeks? Dean Ambrose came out. He did his thing with AJ. And then Dean Ambrose and Cena did their part. And I loved how Cena brought up the Stone Cold podcast about what Stone Cold said about resting on your loins. And Dean Ambrose got offended by that. Something tell me that Dean Ambrose really wanted to smack the crap out of Cena. Especially during that Stone Cold podcast with Dean Ambrose. I just loved how Ambrose was just chilling like this. And then after Stone Cold said, you seem to have rested on your loins, or whatever, however, I think it was loins. I think I'm pronouncing it wrong. And Dean Ambrose got up like this. And Dean Ambrose called John Cena a lazy part-timer. If he's referring to getting title shots, yes, very lazy. I thought you had to work your way up to get a title shot, not just go right to the top. Shane McMahon comes out, and he basically announced that at No Mercy, October the 9th, it will be Ambrose versus AJ versus John Cena in a triple threat match for the world title. I thought this was some pretty good stuff. I thought the insults were great. And overall, I thought this was a good promo. I give it a 3 out of 5. I thought it was a very solid, good promo. Afterwards, we had the Hype Bros versus the Usos, a rematch from Backlash. This was nothing too special. The match was like a quick, maybe 3-4 minute match. The Usos did their thing, splash off the turnbuckle, got the win. No surprise here. I give this match a 1.75 out of 5. I thought their Backlash match was a little bit better, but this was definitely a downgrade. So I'll give it a 1.75 out of 5. Up next, we had a Miz promo. Miz basically coming out saying that he is a main eventer, which from that epic promo he cut on Talking Smack and how he's been handling the Intercontinental title. I said give the Miz one last shot at the world title. Why not? He may impress the second time coming. Ziggler came out. He basically said that he wanted a second shot. No interference, no wife, no girlfriend, him and I one-on-one. And then Daniel Bryan came out. And then Miz and Maurice pretty much escaped. They hightailed through the crowd. And all there was left was Ziggler and Bryan left in the ring. I thought the Miz stuff was good. And then out came Ziggler and it was just kind of like, why more? I'm assuming that this is going to be Ziggler against Miz one-on-one. Maurice banned from ringside, which seems inevitable. And I'm pretty sure the Miz is going to win that one. I do not see Ziggler winning at all in that match. Up next was what was supposed to be Corbin against Cruz. Match never got started. And then Jack Swagger came on SmackDown. I'm assuming his contract ended on Raw, which explained the silence. And very awkward promo that Swagger gave. I kind of felt like he was getting all gangster? I don't know if that's even the right word to use, but it was a very weird promo, I thought. I don't know what was the point across from this. Hopefully he's not going to be some gangster real American. That actually would probably be a little hilarious if done right. Some gangster, straight up gangster tripping real American style here. I'm going about my ways with this. I give this whole thing an NA, a dud, a no rating. It was just very weird. I really can't say much. During this time, there was backstage promos with AJ Styles. He was trying to find a partner with Corbin first. Didn't work out. Then with Kane. And there was another one, but I'll get to that in just a moment. Up next was the Fatal 5-Way Women's match. The winner would face Becky Lynch. I'm assuming that No Mercy for the SmackDown Women's Championship. I thought this was not as good as the six-pack from Backlash, but I still thought it was still relatively enjoyable to watch. I did love the sequence. I think it was with Naomi, Natalya, and Alexa Bliss. Alexa was on the back of Natalya. Naomi gave an enziguri to Alexa Bliss. Then both Naomi and Alexa Bliss were both sitting down. Natalya ran on both of their backs and did a drop kick on Alexa Bliss. Both Alexa and Naomi went back. In the end, Nikki Bella has Alexa on her back, going for the rack attack when Carmella hits the super kick. What is up with everybody doing super kicks now? I mean, super kicks are good, but it's like super kick frenzy now. Carmella hits the super kick. She's about to go for a pin. Bliss pushes Carmella out of the way, gets the 1-2-3. I actually was super excited and happy that Alexa Bliss won, because I thought it was going to be Nikki Bella or Carmella, but Bliss, I like that. And like I said before, I am digging the Harley Quinn look. I think it is an excellent look for her. Very excellent look. And Bliss against Becky Lynch, that might be a match looking forward to a No Mercy. I think I'll be interested in that. But Bliss picks up the win. I give the match a 2.5 out of 5. Like I said, not as good as a six-pack, but it was still enjoyable to watch. Up next was Slater and Rhino versus the Ascension. Before, there was the Heath Slater promo, basically him signing the contract. Nothing too special. In the audience, somewhere, his 50 kids, or however many kids he has. Then we get to the Slater, Rhino, and Ascension match. I think this was actually shorter than the Hype Bros and the Usos match. Shorter. But nothing to see. Slater tagged in Rhino, hit the gore on Victor. They get the win. And the Ascension continued their path of being nobodies, unfortunately. Which is sad, because I never really got to see the Ascension when they were the NXT Tag Team Champions. I actually missed that when I started watching it. Because once again, I didn't start watching NXT till February of 2015. And I know they were a big deal in 2014, but they have been downgraded to nobodies. I'm sorry to say that, but what else can you say? A star and a half. Yeah, I can't believe that the Hype Bros and Usos match was a little bit better than this match. Can't believe I'm saying that. Up next was the Randy Orton and Bray promo. You know, after that loss by Bray with Kane, I don't know if I can take Bray seriously anymore. And well, let me get to that in just a moment. So basically, Orton comes out. He basically says, let's end this now. Bray has a video package. He cuts his deal. Out comes Bray. He's standing there. Lights go out. And the crowd was actually getting excited. And I actually thought for a second Luke Harper came back, which would have made this whole thing more enjoyable. But instead it was Eric Rowan. He beats on Orton, and then Orton hits the RKO out of nowhere and ends like that. What I was going to say was Bray has been on a downward spiral ever since his loss to John Cena. He has been on that downward spiral. And it's funny because usually towards the end of the year, they will build Bray up to be believable, and then he goes into that one big match and he loses. For example, in 2014, he was winning all of his matches with Ambrose. Come WrestleMania 31 to The Undertaker, he loses. After Survivor Series, well, yeah, he loses to the Brothers of Destruction, or the Riot family, even though he didn't get pinned at the end. I think it was Luke Harper? I think he was in that match. But same way with 2015. They were building up the Riot family to be something good. They lose at Fastlane. Then the Riot family gets buried at WrestleMania. Or, well, buried is an overword use. I should probably say drowned. Drowned, I think, should be the new word to use. And Bray has just been ice cold. Even if you put the sun right next to Bray, that ice cold would still not melt. And I don't know what they can do with Bray. Sure, yes, I'm sure it's going to be Bray against Orton. Maybe a win over Orton could benefit, but you're going to need a lot of fire to make Bray relevant again. That's all I'm going to say. And then we get to the main event. Right before the main event, there was a backstage promo with AJ, still looking for a partner. Bryan comes out and says, hey, I got you a partner. This James Ellsworth. I think that was his name. A really interesting thing about James Ellsworth that I've noticed, if you paid attention to all the Offspring fans out there who've been a fan, like I have, he had a Rise and Fall from Grace logo from their 2000, I think it was 8, Rise and Fall from Grace album on his one shoulder. I actually thought that was pretty cool, which instantly made me think he was an Offspring fan. I think it was called Rise and Fall. I think it was called Rise and Fall from Grace. I don't know if the Grace part was in there, but I just still thought it was cool, which made me thought he was an Offspring fan. Let's get down to the main event. So, James comes out. Miz beats him. He says he's the main event. So, it turns into AJ and the Miz versus Ambrose and Cena. I thought this was a solid match, solid tag team match. Nothing too special. I thought Dean was kind of the shiny star in this one. Ambrose and Cena picked the win. Cena hits the AA on the Miz. And then, as Cena is celebrating, he's on the turnbuckle. He's got his arms up in the air. Ambrose hits the dirty deeds on him. And Ambrose got booed. So, is this a heel turn, or is this just his anti-hero gimmick? I really don't know. I do think that SmackDown definitely needs a big-time heel, and if you make Ambrose that big-time heel, I think it could work out. But once again, I know there's a lot of Cena haters out there, so once again, is Ambrose more of a heel now, or is he still like the Stone Cold character where he's anti-hero? He's not really a good guy. He's not really a bad guy. He's an anti-hero, but the fans still love him. But, like I said, there was a lot of up and down moments. I would say the ups was the AJ promo in the beginning, the 5-way women's match, and the main event. And then the downs was the Hype Bros, the Slater Ascension, the Randy Orton promo. So, a very up and down SmackDown. At least that's how I felt. In the end, I give this SmackDown an overall score of... I would give it maybe a... I almost said... I don't know why I keep thinking 2s. When matches I give 5 stars, overalls it's a 10. I give an overall score of a 6.5. Yeah, 6.5. Like I said, I would check out the AJ promo. I thought the 5-way women's match was actually enjoyable. Main event was solid. Everything else was just kind of, I would say, a letdown. Maybe I would say more of a letdown. In the battle of Raw versus SmackDown, I gotta give the slight edge to Raw. Although I heard that Raw drew like a 2.36 rating, which is not good. But then again, it's the football season, Monday Night Football. But so they need to come up with some interesting formula to at least make their show sort of watchable. With that being said, this was my review for WWE SmackDown. I hope you guys enjoy. As always, like, dislike, how did you guys feel about the show? Leave a comment, share the video, follow me on Twitter and Twitch. And until then, you guys have a good one, and I will see you guys later.